welcome back to my channel. It's Andrea, and today I have my second update for the Panner's Pan project that I am doing. This is a project that was started by Elizabeth, who is at Cookie Pans over on Instagram, and it's just a way to spotlight some of the people in the panning / beauty community that you really love to follow and you want more people to discover them. I'm only doing 5 panners at a time, although I'm really doing 6, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So I'm only doing 5 panners at a time. It's a pretty customizable project. I know like Danny is doing 10, Paula and Emma from Emma's Beauty Babbles, I think is her channel name. They're doing it progressive style. So there's a lot of different ways you can do this. I really wanted to join in on this project, but I'm kind of on project overload, so I figured 5 at a time was perfect for me, and this is obviously not a project that has any specific end date, so it doesn't really matter how long it takes me to get through these items because it ends whenever I run out of panners, which I have a list going. It's gonna be a while. So with that being said, I will just start going down my list. And first we have, of course, Elizabeth, Cookie Pans herself. She's an ideas queen. She comes up with so many projects. So I thought to honor her, I would pick one of the projects that she started, which was the Never Have I Ever project, in which you just focused on hitting goals that you've never done before. Like, never have I ever finished an entire foundation. Never have I ever hit pan and a blush. Like, you get the idea. You pick products that you've never panned before ever and try to pan them. So what I picked, and this has been in many a project, is my Maybelline Master Glaze blush stick in Just Pinched Pink. My goal is to finish it because never have I ever finished a blush stick. Now, I didn't wear it that often this past month because of my skin issues, and I wasn't wearing a lot of makeup. I did use it 11 times. I don't know if I have I think I took a picture last month of like what it was kind of looking like, but you can see it's pretty worn down. Again, I have no idea how much longer this is going to take me. This is like a 1.5 years worth of progress, which it was probably about up to here. Actually, well, I think I threw that away. It was probably about up to here when I first started really working on it. I think I had it in my Throwback 30 last year. So, I mean, you can see this is it rolled all the way down. I've used a lot of product, but there's still stuff in here. So I'm going to use it until it's all gone. I do have it as my liquid. I do have it as my cream blush today, and I actually have started recently, and I don't know who I saw doing this. Somebody, obviously, because I don't think of things on my own, but I've been putting all of my cream products, like bronzer / contour, blush, and highlight on over my primer and underneath my foundation, just so it's not like disturbing my foundation too much when I just put the powder products on top, and it's working pretty well. So I probably do use a little bit more of this than I used to when I was putting it on top of my foundation, just because if the foundation is going over it, you're not going to see it as much than if it was on top. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, I've used this 11 more times. I've used this a total of 53 times in this project, and we've still got a ways to go with this one. The next panner that I have is Jessica Lee, who I'm sure everybody watching this knows who she is because she is one of the creators of the Fantastic Ladies. She also comes up with a ton of panning project ideas, and she is the queen of frankening. So I have, it's in my Becca Champagne Pop compact, but I have 3 different shadows from Love Luxe Beauty that came broken in a little palette that I had frankened all together, and my goal is to hit pan. I'm obviously nowhere near that. I've only used it 2 times this past month. I've used it a total of 9 times since the beginning of the project. I actually, for the first time today, I actually have it on as a blush topper. Like, I don't think you'll be able to really tell that much You probably see my cheeks are quite glowy because this does have like kind of like little glitter particles in it, I think. But I had not thought of using it as a blush topper before, and I'm happy to say it works pretty well. Especially, I know my blush and my eyeshadow don't really match. I'm trying to use Project Pan items because it's getting to the end of the year and I'm like trying to push through and hit goals on things. So it is what it is. It doesn't look that bad together, but with cooler pink blushes, this I think will look really nice. Or even if I just want to use this on its own, I think it'll be really nice as a blush as well. So hopefully I will get a little more use on this in the coming months. It's still gonna be a while before I hit pan on it though. The next panner that I have in this project is Danny from Danny's Makeup. And I'm sorry, if I've said Danny's Makeup Corner before, because I'm always getting her channel name wrong for some reason. It is just Danny's Makeup. So let's get that out there. But for her, there's so many different things I could have pulled in for Danny, but I decided because she has beautiful, long, like curly, wavy hair, and I got this Briogeo Don't Despair Repair Strength and Moisture Leave-In Mask, and my goal for her is to finish this. This is so close to being done. Like, theoretically, it's only got a couple uses in it. I could roll her out, but I also want, I need to be a little strategic because I don't think anybody else is going to be rolling out next month, so I want to wait till next month to roll her out. I don't want to preemptively add a new panner when, I mean, her product is still in this project, but this will be done by next month, guaranteed. It's nice. There's other, like, I like leave-in conditioners that are more of a like lotiony, or I guess lotiony type texture, as opposed to like an aerosol spray can, because I'm just a mess of a human being. And when I spray this, it just gets all over the floor because, I mean, you're just spraying. I don't want to spray it too close, but then I spray it too far away and then it like gets everywhere. And it's a nice product, but it's also pretty expensive, I think. I did get this in the, what are they called? The Lucky Bags? Is that what they're called? I got this in my Lucky Bag last year, so it's not something I would have purchased on my own, but it is nice. I'm happy to be using it. I'm happy to be using it up, and this is in for Danny, and it will be gone next month. I promise it will be gone. Now I am rolling out a panner today, and it is my friend Deb, my sweet, beautiful, kind, hilarious, generous, thoughtful, sarcastic friend Deb. She goes through skincare like nobody's business. So for her, I brought in this Earth Harbor Mermaid Milk Nutrient Glow Moisturizer with spirulina and matcha, and it is done. It was, oh, I didn't mention, for Danny, I've used this 9 more times, so I've used this a total of 40 times, the Briogeo spray mask. But I've used this 24 more times since the last update. I used it a total of 67 times, which honestly, I'm kind of surprised that it didn't last me longer, because when I first started it, it seemed like it was going to take forever, but that's about 2 months worth of use, because I would only use it, I think I use this as my nighttime moisturizer for the most part, so I was only using it once a day. But I know my sister really likes this moisturizer, and I think it depends on your skin type, because she has much oilier. I'm an English major, can you tell? Her skin is much oilier than mine is. Let's say it that way in my head. Let's stick all over my teeth, because why wouldn't I? I always do. But she really likes this stuff, and it's not as moisturizing for me. Like, in general, I don't think I would say I have dry skin. I probably have more combo / normal skin, but this wasn't as moisturizing as I prefer, especially in a nighttime moisturizer. So while it was nice, it's not something I would probably repurchase, but this is empty, so unfortunately Deb is having to roll out, but I'm sure you will all go check out her channel and realize like how freaking funny this woman is, and you'll see why I love her so much. Next, I have Lisa from Banning, Panning, and Beyond. She's basically me if I were a little older and Australian. So we have very similar tastes in a lot of things. We're very alike. We joke because we were both born in October. We're both Librans. So we joke that's why we're so similar. But Lisa and I both absolutely love this Colored Rain Safari Rain palette. She actually has a second backup, or she has a backup of this palette because she loves it so much, and I have single backups of all of the metallic shades in here. So for Lisa, and if you didn't know, Lisa loves the color orange. Her favorite shade in here is Tigress, so I decided I'm going to use that and hit pan. I actually do have it like over the majority of my lid today, and I've only used this 2 more times this past month, one of which is today. I've used it a total of 5, but you can, and obviously this palette has had use on it from before, but you can, there's a decent little dip going in there. They're very, very creamy, so you don't need a lot. So it might take a minute to actually hit pan, because I also am not, the reason it takes me forever to hit pan on things is because I don't like digging down just for the sake of hitting the pan. I want to actually use the product. So it's probably going to take a while to hit pan on that, but probably not too long. I don't know. Obviously, I've never hit pan in one of those shades in that palette before, so we'll see. And then, so here's like my 6th panner, and what I started to do starting last month is a lot of panners, obviously, makeup is not their only hobby, but especially if they mention things on their channel in passing about what they really like. And so I decided, like, for people who I can find that I follow who have that like other pretty prominent hobby that they like to do, I'm going to try to quote unquote pan their hobby as a way to bring them into the project without overloading myself with makeup, and hopefully making it a little more likely that I will have somebody to roll out every month. So the first panner that I decided to bring in with this like concept is Anna from Maximalism Rehab. Besides doing videos on her low buy and her project pans that she does, she's doing I think the team project pan, although she's doing it a little bit differently. She's doing what she calls like project X uses. She's doing Panners Bingo, she's doing Deck of Panning, and I'm pretty sure she's doing Nightmare on Panning Street. I don't remember. I have a terrible memory, and so she may be doing that one as well. But she's doing a bunch of project pans. Let's just put it that way. But she also is doing like a kind of project pan, so to speak, where she is panning all of her cookbooks this year. She's calling it Project 52 Cookbooks. So her goal is just throughout the year to just make one recipe from each of her cookbooks. And I don't have as many cookbooks as she does. I think I have 18 or 19, but they sit there because instead of looking through a cookbook, I've got my phone, I just scroll through Pinterest, and I have the cookbooks for a reason. So I'm panning my cookbooks, and I have the same goal, one recipe from each cookbook. So I don't have actual pictures of the things that I've made because I don't really have time for that, and I don't take good food pictures anyway. So I will show you. I've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've used 6 cookbooks so far. I just have to find, and I'll just show you the recipes in the cookbooks that I've used. So this first cookbook is, I believe I got it off of Groupon or something. It's farm to table. It's about like fresh food and blah, blah, blah. But I made this chicken, what is it? Chicken and fall vegetable casserole. There's the picture. Mine did not look like that, but it was still very tasty. It was really good, actually. The only change I would make would be to add more chicken, and I would take out the parsnips because my husband doesn't like parsnips. But other than that, it was a hit. It was good. I would make it again. Next, I have 3 Inagarten Barefoot Contessa cookbooks, which these were like hand-me-downs from my mom's friend, and I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them or not. I have to look through them again. The recipes I've made from them came out fine. It's just a lot of them are either things that I'm never going to make. Like we don't eat seafood in our house at all. Or like my husband doesn't eat pork. Or they're just, the recipes are so simple. It's like, I don't need a recipe book for that. So I haven't decided yet, but this is the Barefoot Contessa cookbook. And there's no picture, but I just made the turkey meatloaf out of this one. It wasn't bad, but I actually have a meatloaf recipe from, I don't remember what website it is, but I have a turkey meatloaf recipe that I found on Pinterest that I like way, way more. So it wasn't like it was a bad recipe or anything. It's just, I wouldn't pick it over the turkey meatloaf that I would normally make. So I made that. This next one is Barefoot in Paris, and I made these herb baked eggs. Again, mine did not look anything like that, but they were quite tasty. But again, it's something like I read the recipe, I followed the recipe, but after making it once, I don't need to look at the recipe again. It was pretty self-explanatory, but it was still good. I mean, I like my eggs. I did overcook them a little bit in the oven. I like runnier yolks, and I cooked them. They were still a little runny, but they weren't as runny as I like. But that was on me. That has nothing to do with the recipe. Okay, and the last Barefoot Contessa cookbook is Barefoot Contessa at Home. And I made the lamb kebabs with couscous. I did not use lamb, I just used beef. But I didn't make them into kebabs. I just like cooked them on the stove. But they were really good. And the couscous was good. I mean, I like couscous. So I would definitely make this again. I was actually, now that I'm thinking about all these three, like there are good recipes in these three Barefoot Contessa cookbooks, but the majority of them are either things that I already have a recipe for that I like to use, or I don't need a recipe for because they're pretty self-explanatory, or things that we would never make. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just go through, like kind of take a picture or something of the recipes that I would actually make, because like I said, there's not going to be many between all three books, and I'm going to donate these because I don't need them in my life. I'm not going to use them. And then the last, I think I said I had six cookbooks, but I actually looked through and I didn't actually make anything out of the sixth one, so I used 5 cookbooks. But the last one is, this is one of my favorite cookbooks of all time. It is the Smitten Kitchen cookbook by Pearlman. I have this one, and then I have her other one, which I thought I made something from, but I didn't. And then I have Smitten Kitchen Every Day. I love Smitten Kitchen. Like, no recipe of hers I've ever made has turned out bad. And she makes lots of like comfort food and just a lot of desserts. Like half of all of her cookbooks are desserts, but that's fine. But everything I've made out of here I've loved, and I've used this quite a bit before this project, but I figured I'd be fair and I'd still use it for this project, try to make something I haven't made before. So I decided to make the sweet and sour brisket, which I don't know what is up with like the grocery stores by us. They either don't have brisket, they have briskets that's like 10 pounds, which I don't need 10 pounds worth of brisket, or they have the corned beef brisket, which is not what I want. I want regular brisket. So I just used this with some cut of beef. I don't remember, but it was really, really delicious, like I knew it would be. So these 2 cookbooks, I still have to, obviously for this project, make something out of the other one. These 2 cookbooks are never going anywhere because I love them very, very much. So those are my 6 panners that I was working on. Deb is rolling out. That means we have to roll somebody in. So what I've decided to do to make it a little bit more fair is, like, I know a lot of people, I know Ruth does it this way where she has her like wheel of names or whatever, and her Tiny Decisions app, whatever it is, and she picks that way. I want to do it, I am doing it that way now, but with a little caveat. I'm a bit of a perfectionist sometimes, and if I roll somebody that I don't know what to put in for them yet, I don't want it to be an ordeal of me trying to find something and then not finding like the right thing. So what I've done is in my Tiny Decisions app, I've put in all of the panners that I know what I want to work on for them. And then as I find like the perfect item for the other panners on my list, I will add them to that. So as of now, I've only got like, I think 20 people on my wheel of what I know that I want to pan for them. So I didn't screen record it or anything, but I hit the button, I spun the wheel, and I got Makeup with Laney. So Laney is, I would say she's an indie eyeshadow enthusiast, much like myself. She does lots of like BYOP stuff on her channel, pan those eyeshadows, which she just finished this year's project, and she's gonna do a prompt based one next year, which I'm excited to see because I'm also trying to revamp my Pan Those Eyeshadows project a little bit, and I think prompt based things are fun. And you know, deck of panning, she does, I think she does Partners in Cream, I mean Graveyard Project Pan. She does a lot of project pans, but she also did, like this past year, she did an indie week where she would do different indie brands every day on her channel and stuff. So I know she loves Divina, and I also know that she hit pan on Divina Exosphere this year. So for her, I am going to bring in my Divina Exosphere, and my goal is going to be to hit pan on it. Again, another eyeshadow, so this is probably going to be in here for a while, but I'll give you a swatch, but then I'll show you my my little palette of like singles and things that I'm working on. Look at how it's bright green. I can see like turquoise. It is so hard. It can be so hard to show shifts from shadows on camera. Maybe, I think you can see that it's like blue, like a dark blue turquoise right there, teal kind of, and it's a beautiful shadow, and I'm really excited. You might be able to see on my finger a little bit better the shifts, but I think it will pair pretty nicely with this corduroy shade from my Emily Edit the Wants palette that's in my This Is Fantasy project. So it might, like this whole row, this is Phoenix from Terra Moons, like as an inner corner, like I think these three would actually make a really pretty look. And other than that, just I love topping these kind of shadows over black liner. So I'm really excited to bring this shadow in because I may have used it once and that needs to change. So I'm gonna bring it into this project, and there, maybe, oh my God, that's not a natural way to hold my hand, but whatever. There's a shift. If you don't believe me, go look it up online, but it's so beautiful. And that is who I am rolling in for this next month. Like I said, next month, Danny is going to be rolling out, and I'll be able to roll in somebody new. I don't think I'll have gotten through all of my cookbooks by next month, so I won't be rolling a new like hobby panner in next month either, but hopefully in the new year I will, because a lot of the cookbooks that I have left are more desserty type cookbooks, so I can make like Christmas cookies and stuff for the next few months and get those knocked out. But anyway, this video is probably going to be way longer than I wanted it to be, but it is what it is, you know? So that is my update for the Panner's Pan. I'm really excited to be working on all of this stuff, and hopefully you can find some new panners that you may not have heard of before and go check them out. I have all their information linked down below. As usual, I cannot talk, so I'm going to stop and hope you're that you are all having a good day or night. Wherever you are, you're staying safe and sane and healthy, and I'll talk to you in the next one.